Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today we read about a very famous story in connection to Jacob and Esau. And this has to do with a time when Esau was out hunting. And he came back and he was just famished. He is wearied from hunting, he's hungry, and he's looking for something to eat. And lo and behold, Jacob had just made a big old batch of stew, probably lentil stew that had a reddish tint to it. And Esau approaches Jacob and says, "Hey, give me some of that red stuff." And Jacob says, "No, first sell me your birthright. Swear to me you will sell me your birthright." And Esau says, "Well, I'm about to die anyway, so what good is my birthright?" So he sells it to him. And Jacob gives him the food. He eats it, but then for the rest of his life, he despises the birthright from that point on. And Esau here gives us a real good picture of what the flesh does to us. Esau is a picture, a type of the flesh. And you see that theme even continue on through his descendants, through the nation of Edom and the Edomites. But Esau really shows us what the flesh oftentimes does. And what it does is it tempts us to trade long-term blessings for short-term gratification. Here, Esau is forsaking the right of the firstborn, and that was a big deal back then. To be the firstborn meant you would take on certain priestly roles within the family as you took over the role of your father. It also had some judicial benefits to it, judicial rights, if you will. And then also, you would receive a double inheritance as the firstborn. And in connection to this story, there's even more than that, and that is the covenantal blessings that God had given to Abraham. So this was a big deal for Esau to trade this birthright for a bowl of stew. Had he not done this, he would have perhaps enjoyed a lot more blessings, but he was hungry and he needed something to eat, or at least he thought he did. And so he traded it for that. And that's oftentimes what the flesh does. The flesh wants us to give in to the flesh, to give in for some type of temporary comfort, some type of temporary pleasure, some temporary accolades that we might receive from others, only to find that we forsake so much more for it. You know, I've heard the saying, sin offers much, but gives very little. And that's absolutely true. That's what the flesh does. It tells us to act on our impulses, act for the immediate gratification we can receive, and to forget about the permanent or the long term. But we as Christians need to walk according to the Spirit. When we walk according to the Spirit, we're walking in line with faith. And faith oftentimes sacrifices what's immediate for what is long term, because it has faith in what is long term. So we look forward to things in the future. We look to a heavenly home. We look to eternal life. We look to things beyond this world. The flesh wants to draw us to the things of the world, but we, by faith, when we walk according to the Spirit, are looking to things beyond this world. And so we don't want to follow after Esau here and trade out all the blessings, the wonderful things that God has prepared for those who love him, simply because we want a bowl of stew, so to speak. The other thing that the flesh oftentimes does is become over dramatic. I think this is a bit humorous. Hear what Esau says. He says, "Behold, I am about to die. And what good is my birthright going to do?" I really believe that here he's being a little bit over dramatic. If he was really about to die, he would probably already be in some type of coma. I doubt he would be carrying on a conversation, at least not a rational conversation with Jacob. He would have a lot worse symptoms than what he's putting on. And that's what we do a lot of times. We justify our actions because we perhaps overreact to the situation that we're in. And think, if I don't lie on this resume, I'm never going to get a job, as an example. Or if I don't cheat on my taxes, I'll be in financial ruin. In other words, we think in extremes so that we can justify ourselves in the the things that we want to do in the immediate set of circumstances. And so oftentimes that can be a red flag for us. If we see ourselves starting to speak in overgeneralizations and looking at our situation in an overly dramatic way, it might just be that we're just trying to justify ourselves, trying to justify our actions. Something to look out for. But one last thing we can learn from this story is the fact that when we do that, when we give into the flesh, it oftentimes leads to long-term regret. So we sacrifice long-term blessings for short time or immediate gratification, and it actually leads to long-term regret. From that point on, Esau despised his birthright. And when we give in to sin, oftentimes it can lead to long-term consequences. Maybe guilt that lasts for years, maybe shame that follows us wherever we go. It might be that we lose trust in the people that we love. It can have a lot of dangers and can destroy a lot in our lives and cause circumstances or consequences. That's the word I'm looking for. Consequences that affect us, maybe for the rest of our lives. And in the moment when we're just seeking immediate gratification and whatever it might be, we're not thinking about that, but oftentimes that's what we're left with. So walking according to the flesh is a very dangerous thing. And it can be a very deceptive thing. But fortunately, we have stories like this that can be a warning for us and say, you know what? I don't want to be like Esau. I don't want to trade future blessings for immediate gratification or present pleasure or comfort or whatever it might be. I want to live for the long term. I want to walk by faith, to live according to the Spirit, and to seek the things that are above, not the things that are below, the things on this earth. So let's make that our goal today. Let's stop trading long-term blessings just for short-term gratification. Let's look beyond those things. Let's begin to look more circumspectly at our lives, to look at things from a more heavenly perspective, so that we can walk and live a life more pleasing to the Lord. And I think we'll find ourselves happier and more satisfied with life as we look back on our lives. And we will definitely be thankful that we did it as we receive the eternal blessings that God has prepared for us. So that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.